So much for staying with us. This is the last hour of Fixing the Nation, live on NTV, on Nation FM, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere with a broadcast or internet signal. Let's get into our last news fix now as we close up. Our last two news fixes, actually. And one, the Kenya International Freight and Warehousing Association is set to launch its 2025 to 2030 strategic plan. Now, this will be happening in an event where where we expect Information, Communications and Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary William Kafogo and Nairobi City County Governor Johnson Sakaja. The association says the plan is a landmark initiative that is set to redefine the future of Kenya's clearing, forwarding and logistics. KIFWA says its new strategic direction is anchored on 6 pillars, including 1. Digitization of freight operations. 2. Adoption of a green logistics framework aligned with Kenya's climate goals. 3. Sector-wide professional code of conduct to clean up the industry. 4. Financial independence roadmap for member sustainability. 5. Transparent, accountable governance systems. And finally, data-driven advocacy to influence customs and trade policies. All right. I do hope we can clean up our freight and warehousing. Of course, make it easier. The fact that we have so much technology that allows us to track and to be able to follow through means that, I should be able to, from the minute the car or the lip balm that I'm buying gets on a ship, I can track it. That's true. All the way down to when it gets to the warehouse until it gets to my house.
That's a good point. Yeah. Another news fix we're following for you. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is to host a training of prosecutors on the decision to charge, known as DTC. The International Justice Mission, or IJM, County Director Vincent Chahale is expected at the event, whose main guest is the DPP, Director of Public Prosecutions, Renson Ingonga. The decision to charge guidelines provide the framework of exercising the state powers of prosecution, ensuring justice is served to all and sundry. They seek to affirm the quality of the prosecutorial decisions, accountability of the prosecutors, and transparency of prosecutorial processes to the right holders. The timing of this couldn't have come at a better time. Who will be in the room? This needs to have a huge spectrum of people that are going to be part of this. It's a training, right? They host a training. So it's called the decision to charge. And we have been speaking endlessly this week about the various, what seem like unconstitutional charges against some of the protesters who are being held. So the timing.
I'm in shock. I'm wondering if this was something that was already planned, and then now the timing is just looking very odd, or it's coming as a result of what we've seen. If indeed it is coming out as a result of what we've seen, then that's really good, because clearly, there's a problem there, and the ODPP will often end up dropping cases, or so many court cases fail because insufficient evidence and things like that. It's
witness, withdrawing, etc.
Yes. And witness tampering, you can say, is outside of their control. Right. But should it be? How can they collaborate with others? But especially a lack of evidence then speaks to, did you do the work of, gathering evidence so that, and then now prosecuting.
Absolutely. Let's get more information on that training when it happens. Right.
Haya basi. Tuingie our last conversation for the day. Now, on Thursdays, tunawapea mic. The idea is that you tell us, what is your big idea? What's your radical idea for fixing this nation? And today we have John C.W., yani mwalimu, yani Pasipia, and he's telling us how we should use blockchain for the 2027 polls. I said 2022 in the last hour. 2027 polls. Blockchain, right? That's his idea. Welcome to studio, John.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
It's very nice to have you. Before we even talk blockchain matters, let's have you hear the quote from Jano. She'll tell you a quote. You can tell us what it says to you, if it speaks anything, if you resonate with it.
Yeah, absolutely. This quote came from a visit of Barack Obama 10 years ago today. He arrived on the 24th of July, 2015, to the country, the first sitting U.S. president to visit Kenya. He was co-hosting the Global Entrepreneurship Summit. On the 26th, he made an address at Kasarani Stadium, and he said, "Progress requires that we honestly confront the dark corners of our past and extend rights and opportunities to more of our citizens." I'll just say it one more time. Progress requires that we honestly confront the dark corners of our past and extend rights and opportunities to more of our citizens. What do you make of that quote?
Change. I keep saying this. First of all, my name is John CW. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Every leader that is going to journey on the road of becoming great must study change. We're in July, right? What I can see you have a sweater, and you know what does July mean to us as Kenya?
Kabaridi.
It means baridi. So your outfit is determined by the change that is happening around you. So the outfit, how Kenya looks, is determined by the change. So when you see people like going out to protest, it's not really the protest you should be after. It's what is that outlook, what does it reflect? So for me, when I hear that, I hear the need for every leader to study change. Do not fight change. Embrace change that needs to change, because if you don't, change will always make sure that you are removed from the table.
That is a really good interpretation. I like the metaphor of the outfit. What you wear, it's because of the season that you're in. Right. Okay.
All right, John CW. You have this idea that we should use blockchain in our 2027 polls. I don't want to preempt. I don't want to presume. I just want to hear directly from you. Let's have you shake a mic and tell us why we should use blockchain for the 2027 polls.
All right, thank you. Dear Kenyans, I'll begin with the fact that you've heard that I'm a pastor, and so the Bible is my guide. Isaiah 43:19, the Bible says, "See that I am doing a new thing. See that I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wastelands." The reason I have begun with that Bible verse is to explain to you that God is a God of new. He himself doesn't change, but God created things to change. For example, you remember you were a young girl, and then you've become who you are. I was a young boy, and then I've become who you are. So the way creation is designed is that it's designed to change. So looking at it from that perspective, this was the reason that, actually this was the scripture that made me come up with ways that we can be able to help our nation. And so in 2022, we participated a lot in making sure that, the leadership that is in power comes into power. The president had come to my church and things like that. And I remember that particular time I had told him, if you allow us, would you allow us to come in and help you to run the country? Because we are young people. So these were the kind of things that we wanted to bring on board. But unfortunately, so today is that day. So we begin our blockchain revolutionary agenda, and I thank the Lord that it's on fixing the nation. It's part of how we are going to fix the nation. So first of all, what is why blockchain? There are two ways to look at it. There is centralized platforms, and then there is decentralized platforms. Blockchain by itself, which necessarily began gaining mileage in 2009, became through the most advanced of it all, which is the Bitcoin, became an avenue through which the security of that platform, you can look at it as almost not possible to hack it. You can hack what comes on top of the blockchain, which basically, let's say you have built a transfer network on top of the blockchain, but the blockchain itself is a very decentralized platform. What does it mean? When you talk about a centralized platform, it simply means one party is involved in making all the decisions. But when you talk about a decentralized platform, it simply means it's beyond the control of one particular individual. Let's say, for example, we make an initiation of a transaction using a centralized platform. It means it can be one way or another, an individual still somewhere on the back door is able to determine how far this particular change goes. But if you make that same appeal on a decentralized platform, it's beyond what one party. So in the event of a blockchain, let's say you have like 10,000 computers and you have done something on this computer. The ripple effect of that thing plays on all those. That's why it's called a block, one block plus one block plus one block, and it becomes a chain of blocks. So in that platform, it's very difficult for you to go and manipulate 10,000 blocks in order for you to get what you're looking at. So by looking at it, we came up with this platform whereby in my church, we have very many young people that are into the tech space, myself too, and we started building a technology, that can be able to help the nation of Kenya during this electioneering period. And this is what I'm going to explain. Now, number one, let me say this. A foot-proof biometric-based blockchain powered electoral and governance system that enables fraud-proof full-proof, transparent, and self-variable elections where citizens control their identity and democracy is enforced through code. So in this particular platform, where we are seeking that the IEBC should listen to us, it's the citizens that are in control of what is happening. It's no longer on paper trail. Like you can, let me ask you a question. Have you voted before? Mm-hmm. How sure are you your vote counted?
I have to trust the process.
You have to trust the process. But now on this particular platform, you don't need to trust the process, because once the voting has happened, you are able to really check the process. You don't need to trust anyone. Like you can be by yourself, take the code, check whether this vote of mine has gone, to the necessary stages, number one. And then this is what we say. This system replaces manual electoral processes with a decentralized platform that, number one, uses biometric hashing for identity. So on a blockchain platform, biometrics are put into place. 2, records all votes on a public blockchain. I want you to see that all votes are recorded on a public blockchain. It simply means you are able to go and check for yourself. You don't need necessarily the IEBC, like we don't need to be glued somewhere waiting for, the IEBC director to come and tell us. We are able to verify for ourselves. The third one is execute electoral processes via smart contracts, 4, and makes tampering of or manipulation mathematically impossible. Mm-hmm. So let's say you've seen that other platforms whereby people have been able to tamper or, change the votes and things like that. Right. When we go through the blockchain platform, it's almost impossible for you. And I've explained the reason is because you will need to find out all the blocks, all the computers that have received that particular reality to be able to change, which is impossible. 2, why? Here's why this system is not just revolutionary, but necessary for Kenya democracy future. Eliminates electoral fraud. It says this, so these are my notes. No duplicate voting, ballot stuffing, or ghost voters. Once you come on board and you make your vote, it registers on the platform. You cannot vote twice because the code that has been given to you has the expiry option. Once you put in either it's your fingerprints or your eye, whichever identification platform that you're going to look at, it expires immediately, that individual. Let's say, for example, there is the president, there is the governor. When you vote for the president, that particular code expires. So you cannot go back and re-vote again. If you vote for a governor, so it's basically one vote, one person. Okay, so it goes deeper. Transparent, fast, and public adaptability. Results are counted and published in real time. It's not like the way you normally see the IEBC until we wait till tomorrow or 2 days and things like that. It's real time. It's there, and there. So once we vote, by the evening, we are able to know who's the president. And normally we normally see it happening in the US and things like that. Quickly to move on, each citizen's vote is linked to biometric device, cryptographic wallet, impossible to fake or replicate. It's not possible when you look at it that way. Transparent, fast. Results are counted and published in real time. Another thing is anyone who can verify voters using blockchain explorers without needing to count intervention or observer report. Once you make your vote, you are able by yourself. You don't need the IEBC, you don't need anyone. You can clearly come in and see what that vote means to you. So these are the part of the things that we've been looking at to making sure that when you look at it from a blockchain perspective, it might not be necessarily have done in Kenya. But again, as I kept on telling people, Africa doesn't need to wait for the West to do something in order for us to do it. Mpesa is our product, and other countries, Mpesa became a big thing beyond many countries that they could ever think of.
We can pioneer it. So many, and that's Shika Mike.
Thank you.
Okay. We normally do that. I know that we'll come to questions.
Before that.
Oh, before that.
Do you have any cases or case studies of this kind of technology being used in the world?
Just go and study Estonia.
In electioneering?
In electioneering. Go study Estonia. Russia has already embraced it. Part of the states in the US have already done it. But Estonia is a very great example.
Did they conduct national elections using blockchain?
They do. They do.
Okay. Estonia is very tech forward.
Right.
And I had read through because he sent the Shika Mike and I was like, okay, possible.
and even based on that, I wonder whether it leaves out people in rural areas in Kenya. So I'll get to that. Like, how does it include everybody?
Right.
Some people may not have that kind of technology. So what would that look like? I just want to read some feedback because I don't know that we'll have a chance to because of time.
Okay.
So far, I thought I saw a question, but it's a lot of people saying, this sounds great. That's Martin, I am official. Francis Chege says it's a brilliant idea. IEBC should consider this for Kenyans. In 2017, we saw the use of algorithm where there's a percentage that remained. Okay, you can keep your feedback coming in. I hope that we can sample it. I have quite a number of questions. I think I wrote some of them down. One of them is, you talked about the fact that there's a public platform where you can check whether the vote counted, but I wonder whether this protects voter privacy.
It does.
Okay.
It does. When you are voting, there are two codes. One is a private code and one is a public code. Okay. In the public code, you don't see who, but you can see this number of votes came in. But the one that is private, that person is able to see for themselves. So when you do, and anything goes back on blockchain platform, there is what goes public and then there is what goes private. It normally sends two codes, the public code and the private code. So in the public platform, you can see 10 million people voted, but you're not able to see Anne voted, Mary voted. But now Mary can go in with the private code and see Mary voted code so and so, I voted and my vote counted.
And this is who I voted for. Tech failures have happened in past elections, right? So tech is tech. It can still, the same could still happen. How confident are you that this won't be another chance where tech can just fail? Or do you think it was manipulated, or do you think it failed?
I started by speaking about centralized platforms and decentralized platform. There are two types of technologies. There is a technology that is built on a centralized platform, which simply means one individual somewhere still has the power of play. In a decentralized platform, for example, blockchain by itself has not been hacked. Now, what is built on blockchain, which are things like wallets. That's why you hear people saying they have lost money on their wallets. Blockchain itself has never been hacked. But the wallets that stand on the blockchain, that's what can be hacked. Things like wallets, things like smart contracts and things like that. So what we are saying is, you are not going to build a system, then come and place it on the blockchain. You are getting the specific blockchain, then building the system on the blockchain, which cannot be hacked. You understand the difference?
I get that, yeah.
So
okay, we'll
that's
come
what
to you.
normally happens.
That's what happens. Sorry, Mariam, we'll come to you just a bit. I didn't want to forget about inclusivity and how you feel like this is something that can invite all Kenyans to exercise their right to vote. What does that look like? Access to technology for all Kenyans.
So there are three things about it. First of all, when you look at it from the people that are normally desiring to vote from abroad, the number is limited. I saw the other day there is over 3 million people that would desire to vote. But if you really look at how many votes come from abroad, is because
tens of thousands,
just a few. The reason is because think about America as Africa. I mean, it's just a little bit smaller than Africa. Let's say the voting platform is in Kenya. Think about it that way. Someone has to travel from South Africa to come and make his vote. So definitely you lose that timing or opportunity. So what is the difference with this one? Within the comfort of your house, on this particular device, you can be able to make your vote. What does that mean? It increases the voter number. That's number one. Number two, the flexibility of voting. Number three, you might say, what about the people that do not have technology? Still within this platform, the polling stations are not being left out. The polling stations are still there, but now what you have done is that you have limited the number of people that are journeying to the polling stations, because most of the people would desire to do it from the comfort of their houses. So the polling stations are still there for the people that are not technologically, advanced in things like that. Now, another thing about this particular device, because we've already built a platform. Let's say, for example, we've gone to Western. It has the language of that area. All the languages of that area. You know the way you go to an Mpesa ATM and then you see English or Swahili? We have make sure that we have, put into context all the available measures to make sure that the voter understands what they're doing. So it increases the voter number. It makes it easy for voters to vote. And number three, this particular platform, let's say one person in a family has a phone. You can use this one phone for everyone in that house to vote. But you cannot manipulate, because once you vote, that particular code expires. It becomes very safe to deal with it.
Okay. I wanted to go into the reason I asked for any case studies is because Estonia uses blockchain to store election results and to keep those logs, but not so much in the voting bit. So then we would be the first to actually do that, right? To have this platform on phones that then allows you to vote from your phone, and then it's logged on. So I'm trying to think about it. Why hasn't anyone else done it? And you're right, we don't have to wait for other people to do it, but why hasn't anyone else thought of doing it? Are there legitimate security concerns aside from hacking with this kind of platform? And why has Estonia is very, very digital savvy. It's like, the real Silicon Savannah. But if they're just like, what, let's use it to keep the logs of the election results so that we can see how many people voted, and that's okay, but not for the actual voting process.
Okay, so I will need to say this. Think about the president Traore. What Traore is doing, has any president in Africa ever done it?
No.
Now imagine if Traore sits and says, why would I be the first one to do it? Let me wait for another person to do it. We will never really get to that platform.
Right.
Kenya has amazing tech people. I mean, to even think of comparing Kenya with Estonia, you cannot. To think about comparing Kenya with the US, and I'm not speaking like that in a layman's, but I mean, like nothing does not, you don't need anything to start something. Already the fact that these things are existing in this capacity and in that capacity and in that capacity, that shows that they can be pushed to any capacity that can be able to drive a national agenda. And I'm here to tell you, comparing blockchain system and paper trail system, I mean, clearly speaking, you can see how there is no even comparison.
There's no comparison.
Clearly there is no comparison. It's very easy for you to, it's easier. Let's even assume there is a risk factor. It's easier for you to manipulate a paper trail platform that is centralized than a blockchain platform that is decentralized.
Would this also mean, would there be a role for IEBC in all this? I'm just wondering, maybe there's oversight. Talking about decentralization, it means people take back the power to exercise their vote and for them to be able to see that their vote counted for something. Walk me through where you see IEBC coming into all this.
Definitely the fact that it's the legal, it has been given it's the body that has been given the right to do that. In as much as you have built this technology, you will need to present it to the IEBC because it's only the IEBC that gives, the last answer towards who has won here and there. But the IEBC cannot control it. You can only submit it to the IEBC, but the power is in every person's hand. So even before the IEBC comes and declares this person as the winner, we already know because the blockchain platform is visible to each and every person. Right. So they are just simply coming to do what is constitutionally mandated for them to declare the winner.
Some would argue we kind of already, anyway, we do, IEBC does count the votes essentially, but there is some transparency, and I see the holes you're trying to plug. I'm just trying to think through it. We're at a point where election results are considered final at the polling station, right? We have election observers, we have representatives from parties and candidates as well, all there, and it's literally a lift and count and lift and count and lift and count, and then that number is posted on the polling station, and that's what's transmitted to Bomas, and that's what we use to tally. So there is some already transparency. I'm trying to see from a cost perspective, before I even get into cost, from a public perception perspective, Kenya is one of the countries with the highest users of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, which is really amazing. But it's also a country where a lot of people have not used this technology whatsoever. So the trust factor is a big one. Yeah. Trust is what we're dealing with the IEBC right now. How do we get people to trust blockchain? Why would they trust blockchain that they've never heard of? And it's like, it's not backed by anything. It's, you're like, what? Just think about it. You're a voter who has never interacted with blockchain technology, and then someone is telling you there is a ledger somewhere keeping your information and we'll be able to see, we being all the people who are able to access. What happens to everybody else? Because for a large number of people, it's hearing on the radio that when we announce results at polling station here, and these are the results. It's seeing on the TV. So there's a good number of people that you're going to leave behind from a trust perspective.
There is a saying that says, only a fool does the same thing and expect a different result. Now, we have been doing the same thing. Can I ask you a question? Apart from actually 202, which we saw a landslide in terms of choosing the president, which still had some things here and there, can you name for me any election that went well without people claiming that votes have never been stolen? So now that particular way of doing election has been tried and tested. The question is, what has it given birth to? It has given birth to 2007 post-election violence. It has given birth to redoing the whole voter platform. So it has brought a lot of cost implications. So what are we saying?
We've nullified elections as well.
Exactly, we've nullified elections. So we have already seen the results of this way of putting elections on display. We are bringing a new way to say, we have not tried this, but these are the possibilities of A, B, C, D. Number one, I've heard you speaking about, the people at the tallying station. You don't need anyone to be at the tallying station. The reason is because the system does everything. Two, you are sure that whatever, let's say, for example, a police station has declared 3,000 votes for this particular individual, you can literally go on the blockchain platform and recheck whether truly there were 3,000 votes that came in. So what is basically we are giving the people, we are telling people you have power of data in your hands. We are literally giving the people the opportunity to decide, to check. And in as much as IEBC has said this, here is the platform. Check for yourself. If it's 3,000 votes for this person, we can clearly go to this blockchain system and see it was truly 3,000 votes for this person.
But we can't discount the trust factor. We cannot. 2 years from 2027. How do you build public confidence in a blockchain system, assuming IEBC, like we all buy into this as a nation, which would take, of course, policy change, law change, all of that. How do you get public confidence in a blockchain system, given that even with the IEBC's work in trying to improve our confidence in them, we're still like,
you're still trying to build the trust and confidence back. Yeah.
You see, trust is bought. First of all, I'm married for 12 years. And I can tell you, trust is not given. It's the things you keep doing to your wife, the things you keep doing to your husband, that you buy the trust. When you look at it from a 2 years perspective, I mean, you don't need to, I mean, people steal money in this nation in minutes. So to say that you can 2 years of time, you're not able to do it. And furthermore, number two, there is already a wave on the young people. You can clearly see that change is what they are desiring. It will be very easy to sell this particular idea to a platform that is already giving at the same time. These people are already ready to embrace anything that can make sure that their votes will count. So what are we telling the Kenyans? If we go this particular direction, we are sure that what you are crying for, your vote will count. It will not, no politician will come out and say, you know what, this person stole. Okay, Mr. Politician, this person you claim has stolen. Let's come to the platform. Did this person steal? No. So it will, can you imagine in 2007, what brought the issue? It was issues to do with voting. So imagine how many lives you can save. Imagine how much money you can save. Imagine the kind of things you can change in this nation by clearly looking at what we need to happen. And again, as I've repeated, the opportunity now is ripe. You know, it's like saying a banana, when it's season for bananas or mangoes, you don't need to do anything for the banana to ripe. I mean, the banana just ripes in that season. I believe that this season is enough because it's already a season that allows this kind of realities to be given birth to.
We'll come back to, there's a lot of questions and feedback. We'll come to that. But I've written technically, financially, and politically, break down the cost.
Good.
Especially, this is by 2027.
Yeah.
So let's start with that, the technical bit of it, the financial, the political bit of it, what break down the cost and what needs to happen.
Now, this kind of, the data I'm giving you is verifiable. I want you to look at it. Let's start with paper, printing ballot papers. It's anywhere between 3.5 to 5 billion. Our platform, zero. I want you to hear that because it's zero. Let's go deeper. Ballot
Hold
boxes.
on. You said you would have the polling stations still
You'd have
there
the polling stations.
but there would be no paper at the polling
There will be
station.
no paper. It's simply as a machine that you.
I see room there for people being manipulated because not everybody will be able to interact with a screen and to go like, yes, I'm voting for person X. I go back to the other window. I vote for person Y. And then the people that you have assisting there, now that's a possible infiltration, right?
Now, I will repeat again. The way we are going to set, let's use a case example of a computer. And you're right, we have already factored in all this issue. Remember, we are comparing this. There is a comparison. It's not like it's standing on its own. We are looking at it as opposed to paper voting. So you have to put that in mind, paper voting. It's not like you're putting blockchain on its own. So you cannot criticize it on its own. You have to have an opposite that you're looking at. Now, every polling station will have a trained personnel in every polling station standing next to that particular voting product. Now, just like you go to an ATM and you see that there is, as I've repeated, one of the advantages we've done, we have made sure that all languages, that's something for everyone to look at. All languages are in that particular system. It will be very easier for you, even if you're an elder at 90 years, and you can be able to hear your language, because the system is you're able to literally read your own language. You see, so that's something to look at, number one. Number two, in every particular polling station, as I've told you, the fact that you're already putting the system on people's phones, you can already see that it will be very limited number that will go particularly on that particular polling station. So on the polling station, when you go there, you are able to read, but in a language that you might be able to bear. But there is an assistant of this particular individual that is not party-based, number one. He does not belong to any party, number one. Number two, that gentleman has signed very crucial things that are very binding to that particular person. Number three, it's not like there is a place where it's hidden. The only thing that's hidden is that particular computer. But where this person is standing to offer any help will be heard, because he'll be mic'd. You will be heard whatever you are telling this particular individual. So we have made sure that all transparency has been looked upon. Is that okay?
Yes.
So if you would allow me to go back
Yes,
to
you say the
those.
printing is 3 billion and
3.5 to
blockchain
5
would be
billion.
0.
Yeah, it will be 0. Ballot boxes is 1.2 billion, and security ballot boxes and security seals is around 1.2 billion. Us is 0. Polling station kits is 12 billion. These are verifiable. Polling station kits, according to what we have, is 12 billion. Between us is 3.5 to 4 billion. Okay?
Yeah.
Training staff, according to the IBC, or rather what is available, is 5 billion. According to us, is 1.4 billion. Transport and logistics is 7 billion. Us is 2 billion. Tallying and results is 3.5 billion. Tallying and results transmission, in order to do the tallying and results transmission, it costs us 3.5 billion. Us, it's costing us 0.5 billion. Voter education and sensitization, that's where you say it, how do you educate the voter? It's costing them 2 billion. It's costing us 0.9, which is less than $1 billion.
Hey, I have to be honest, that one, I think it would cost you significantly more to do voter education for blockchain.
So more than
Because you're
0.9.
starting afresh.
So you see, there is something I want to explain.
There's a caller on the line.
Okay.
I think they,
Please.
yeah. Is the caller still there, Jackson? They dropped?
Caxton.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's dropped.
okay. So,
Yes, water
Now,
education.
I will need to explain something. You see, when you are looking at advice, you have to look at advice holistically. Don't compare this with 2002 or 2022, because the data came out that the people between 35 and 18, how many are they? That
70%.
17 million. The people ready to vote, underline 35 to 18, they are 14.5 million. So it's 2 times, because now when you look at it in the past, the president, the one that wins and the one that loses, it's 7.5. So both of them combined, in previous report, it has come to how much? 15 million combined. But now here they are telling you, the young people between 35 and 18, they are approximately 14.5 to 15 million. So to educate young people, that's how I want you to look at it. It's very much easier compared to how you're looking at it. These young people are already educated. So the amount that it will take to educate those that are not is not as much as compared to those that are. The fact that they are already knowledgeable when it comes to the normal here and there when it comes to technology. Is that making sense?
That's fair.
So that's voter education.
Okay. So that's voter education, which is that. ICT, infrastructure, and licensing. According to them, is 2.5 billion. Okay. According to us, is 1.8 billion. Security personnel.
ICT infrastructure?
Yeah, ICT infrastructure and licensing.
Okay.
Them is 2.5 billion, and that is what I've shared. Security personnel deployment, according to them, is 3 billion. According to us, is 1.4 billion. Polling station staff wages, according to them, is 4 billion. According to us, is 1.5 billion.
Staff wages.
Yeah, staff wages. Dispute resolution mechanisms, according to them, is 0.8. According to us, is 0.3. Observer and monitoring costs, according to them, is 0.5. According to us, is 0.2.
Everything is much cheaper.
You see now the blockchain. The last one is
Yes.
post-election logistics. According to them, is 0.6. According to us, is 0.1.
All right.
Okay.
We talked about the financial cost. Caxton has a question. He's from Butere, our kawaida fixer.
Yeah.
Good morning, Caxton. Morning, Caxton.
100%. Kwa sababu
Rudia
hii
sana.
nini
Caxton.
ninamuunga mkono 100% kwa sababu saizi ni technology. If we can apply it well, you only register with Mpesa using your ID card. The rest of Fuliza, Mshwari, Okoa Jahazi, that comes with your only single PIN number. So I 100% sure if education would be very little. We only need your ID, register. You have your ID. You are registered as a voter. The rest should be ati ni kama kuloweka mkate kwenye chai unakula tu.
Asante,
I
Caxton.
support it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's in support. We missed the first part of what he said.
But he said 100%. That's what he's
100%.
saying.
Oh, we started by him
Yeah.
saying 100% support.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Maybe
So-
I should answer something. Do you
Okay.
know how much you'll be saving in general?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ask me.
How? Okay.
Ask me.
Drum roll.
27 to 29 billion. Ask me another question. Remember, this is just the first one. So by the second one, it keeps reducing because you're
'Cause
no
you've
longer
already gotten-
buying
yeah.
the things. You're no longer
So by the second election, how much would we be saving?
Oh my God! Can I tell you? 36 to 40 billion.
That is an incredible
And we
amount
can
of
keep
money.
going to the third one and the fourth one.
Given that Kenya's elections are some of the most expensive in the world per capita, given our per capita income, that would be an incredible saving. I can think of how many sectors could benefit from an extra 26 to 29 billion shillings. That is the financial cost. You had talked about another cost.
Oh, yes. Technical, political.
Political is what I was going
Yeah,
to. Technical is, I think, within the financial.
Within the
We've
financial,
costed it.
yeah.
But yeah, the political cost of doing this. You understand that the way our politics is done?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do we get the lawmakers sitting at Parliament Road to say yes to blockchain technology for the polls?
Guess how we do it? Do you know how blessed we are to be on fixing the nation? We've already started. Let me ask you, according to the Constitution, power belongs to who?
The people. The people.
So you see where the direction we are taking. I know very well that if we go that direction, we are going to incur very rigid. So what did we do? We decided to route it to the people so that once the people really understand, it will be very easier for the people to push. So that's the direction. But if you decide to go this other direction, we can already see the cartel in the system. Do you know how many people are benefiting from election?
Yeah,
So it will not be a walk in the
ecosystem,
park.
yeah.
So the best way to go around it is me and you and the fact that you're on fixing the nation. You have had a gentleman speaking about it. So just imagine what that would do. Like 2-3 million of us would push that. They would have no choice but to accept it.
What does it look like to circumvent?
The house on the on Parliament Road.
Constitutionally
yeah,
speaking, there are laws and things that need to change.
In my head, I always go to, okay, sounds great. How? By law, what does that mean? Because, in as much as the push is for them to have absolutely no say in the electoral process, because that's what has caused co-opting and issues.
Right.
I'm just trying to figure out legally how does that circumvent, but that's thinking out loud. Somebody here is asking about internet shutdown. They're like, they would shut down the internet, John CW, and then what happens?
Which does even speak to, let's even, before we talk of shutdowns, accessibility How many places around Kenya? There's places where you have to fly in ballots with choppers, and you have to fly in exams again with choppers because of accessibility issues. They definitely don't have internet. So even from just accessing the internet before you talk of shutdowns. But William is on call. Akona swali hapa. Ebu tusikie ni Willie.
Eliam from Kakamega.
Oh, Eliam from Kakamega. Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
It's so good to hear from you. What's your question or comment for teacher John CW?
I'm very happy with the pastor. He has really created a very wonderful platform that even we can emulate Estonia as an example, and we can make a change in Africa. So now he has talked that the system cannot be hacked. Now, I'm really so much interested to understand on what basis are they creating, because this Ruto's government is also very funny. They can also employ a person who can even counter-attack it. So what mechanism are there in place to make sure that the system is perfect and it is working? Otherwise, I'm very much happy, because now if it goes the way he's saying, then we are heading somewhere. As he has said that if you don't want to change, then automatically change will change you. Otherwise, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eliab. Thank you. That's a great question. I'll extrapolate on it a little bit, which is blockchain hasn't been hacked, but we'd still be using machines connected to the internet, possibilities for malware. Yes, the blockchain itself is not susceptible, but there's other components.
You know, before I came here, there's a scripture, the Bible says, study to show yourself approved. Can you imagine how many questions we've asked? We're ready for the answers. I'm not giving 100%. Nothing is 100%. I mean, you're not even sure you're going to go home tonight. I mean, you desire, but you don't know that's going to happen. But this is what I'm telling you. If you heard me clearly, the things that have been hacked are things that are placed on the blockchain.
Yes.
What did we do? For example, let's take case example. You know, blockchain, Bitcoin is a blockchain, things like that. So we took an example of Ethereum, for example. Okay, we took from Ethereum, then we built on Ethereum. I would like you to understand that we did not build a system then put it on Ethereum. Ethereum is already a blockchain that is solidified on its own. So we went to Ethereum, for example, you take rights from Ethereum, then you build on that platform that is already solid. Now, that's not possible to hack it. But if you build a wallet, for example, and then you come and Ethereum hosts the wallet, the wallet is still having, it's still on the air to some degree. So the wallet has its own particular security measures, totally separate from. So it's not something you're building to put on top.
Right.
The system, like for example, you realize that something like Bitcoin. Have you ever had a story with Bitcoin? So
no.
you buy that particular platform. Then whatever you're going to build, you build it, you add on that platform. Number two, there is something I needed people in the IT to understand. There is no one person that has, in fact, this thing is not finished. Guess what the advantage is? We are asking every Kenyan that understands anything to do with technology. Build. We are going to be building together. For example, you're in Nakuru and in the IT and you feel you can do something to improve it. You just build, we add on it.
So it's open source code?
It's open source completely.
Okay.
It is not centralized. Okay. So that gives us an opportunity to build things that can be able to. So you can see it's one system, but the kind of
build
hands.
I could build against.
So you see,
I
at
could
the
be
end,
a bad actor as well.
Good. Now, another advantage. Once we submit, once you build and you submit anything on the blockchain, it is finished. You can't hack it. Once we sit here and we agree that now all the techs in Kenya have come together and we now feel this thing. Before, when you send it, it is checked once or twice or three by 4, 5, 10 particular people. Then we come up with a resolution. Is this workable? Yes. You know, the whole coding system. Once we agree, and I want you to understand that part because it's very important for Kenyans, and we submit it now into the blockchain system now, this is our final. You cannot do anything to infiltrate it. It's no longer in my hands. It's no longer on your hands. It's no longer on any IT's hands. So the system now goes in as a solid mechanism that cannot be added to or extracted.
But can be replicated.
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
I'm also just struggling, and this is my, lack of tech knowledge here. If the code is open source, you're telling me that doesn't mean anyone can alter it.
The building, before the submission, the building, you know what, we have not finished building the system.
Okay.
So it's open. We are telling the people in the tech department, let's strengthen this thing. Before, now we have not submitted it to IEBC or anything like that. So there is nothing to risk.
Okay.
We are now telling the people before we submit it, bring your ideas from wherever you are. But once we solidify that this is the truth, and like every county will be given an opportunity to give their vote. Once it's submitted, and then now the blockchain, it's now instilled into the blockchain.
Right.
It's done. It's not in my hand that built it. It's not in your hand that added to it. No one can control it. Not IBC, and not even we, the builders, because now blockchain takes it as a chain now, and it adds it to the block. So if I'm going to manipulate it, and it's on 50,000 computers, we need to identify 50,000 computers. You understand that?
Yeah. Again, I think this is really, really radical. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's game changing, and I think it is the future of elections, if we're being honest. Estonia has already started with keeping the logging of election results. You're taking it a step further. But answer my internet question one.
Please.
And then even the question of still, there will be devices that are compromisable by malware, right? We will still be using some sort of interface to get to, right? So that's also a potential weak point. And then perhaps we can go back to still the public trust issue, because I do think that will be the biggest issue. Elections are done on trust. That's why IEBC right now is scrambling to do voter education. It's why, we watched the selection panel. The commission interview. Yes, with such a keen eye.
Yeah.
Elections are based on trust and understanding. If we don't understand a system, it's very hard for you to tell me this. Don't put your ballot in there and then we'll remove and count. Just press this button. There's going to be a big challenge. But answer na internet.
Yeah, as briefly as you can.
Okay. Now, I will not be able to say much because you've already factored in the internet aspect. But I would like to ask you. I want you to go and do studies. Is it possible to, have you ever seen people that use internet without our local internet? Have you ever seen that? Just go study it. Are you able to, let's say the internet shuts down. Is there external internet factors that you can deploy?
It is possible.
So I've already answered that question.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have thought about that, and we know very well that there are, we've seen governments shutting down things here and there, but I can equally tell Kenyans, there are internets globally that you cannot be able to hack. I've already answered that question, which you might be aware of it. Two, when it comes to this issue of, people
Trust and understanding.
Now, I would like to ask you, dear Kenyans, do you trust what's there currently? If not, the only thing I can tell you, compare. If you want to go the direction where it has already failed, feel free. Here we are telling you, you see, you have to trust that when you leave your house, you will go back home.
Does it also come down to the trust, the intentions of, I don't want to say the people who brought this idea. Okay, Mwalimu is here, he's, saying this is the idea. Are you also asking, I don't even know what your intentions are with this idea, number one, but number two, it's a lot of unlearning and relearning. It's how we've been wired, and unfortunately we've almost been made to, the trust has been eroded.
The trust has been eroded over time with electioneering here. We already poke holes into everything. So then I'm just the problem will be that we will poke holes into this. I genuinely can see how in the future blockchain for elections could be used. Right now, there's a big trust deficit, even with the IEBC as it stands, with paper and pen. So I don't know how we move then there. It's not, from a tech perspective and from Malimu's perspective, no, not at all. It's not an intention thing. It's a how do we get the buy-in from the public and the how, because again, 2027 is 2 years. Just as we're wrapping up, very quickly, if we're not able to do blockchain elections in 2027, what's the next best use of blockchain technology to keep our votes safe in 2027?
Even beyond just, actually we wanted to start with election, but can I tell you, you can use blockchain for any government resources. You no longer need receipts, things like that. If you want to do any government project, put it on blockchain, any Kenyan can be able to see how much money went to this project. And so we are not only pushing it from an election perspective, we are pushing it from a financial perspective in terms of we want to make sure that anything that is money trail can be able to be put on a blockchain platform. So my advice is that we still have a lot of time, and I've given the fact that the people between this age to this age, it will be very easy to train them. So the people that probably from different ages is what we'll need to look at, which the number might not necessarily be as solid big as this one. So it's a bit easier. But my advice to Kenyans, study blockchain. That's where your trust will come from. Just study what is blockchain. Okay. And the answer you get there will give you the next step forward.
We're completely out of time. We see you, Matoroki, Justus, Njeri Murigi, James, Daniel, the Prince, Apostle Fred, Victory Adhiambo, Aaron Jacob, and there's an entire conversation going on YouTube. The moment somebody said internet shutdown, people came in and said, no, this can't happen. All in all, there seems to be a lot of positive uptake for this conversation. John C.W., Mwalimu, Pastor, thank you very much. Thank you guys for watching. Mariam Bishar, Janet Bogwa. We'll be back with Eric Latif tomorrow. Coming up next is Vibe Shift with Claudia Naisabwa, Brian Aseli, and Your World is also starting in just a few moments. Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time. Find all the conversations on YouTube, NTV page, Fixing the Nation playlist. Have a good one.
Thank you, Mwalimu. This was a fantastic Fixing the Nation.
Yeah.
We've thought.